What makes a roguelike truly addicting? Is it the brutal difficulty, the thrill of permadeath, or the insane replay value that keeps you saying just one more run until the sun comes up? Hey guys, I'm Buds, and today we're diving into 10 of the best roguelike and roguelite games that will hook you from the very first run. These aren't just great games, they're absolute must-plays for any fan of the genre. So grab your potions, sharpen your skills, and let's jump in. Roguelikes and Metroidvanias, two genres that shouldn't mix, yet Dead Cells pulls it off flawlessly. This game is fast, brutal, and endlessly replayable with combat that feels like an orchestra of chaos. Every dodge, parry, and strike must be perfectly timed, or you'll be sent back to square one. No mercy. You play as a mysterious blob of cells, yes, really, that possesses a decapitated corpse fighting through a constantly shifting, procedurally generated castle. Each run is a new challenge with weapons and abilities unlocking as you die, learn, and get stronger. But here's the twist. Unlike most roguelikes, there's a sense of permanent progression, meaning even failures inch you closer to ultimate victory. And let's talk about the combat. It's silky smooth, with a variety of weapons that range from fiery whips to double-bladed daggers that make you feel like a ninja. Every hit is crunchy and satisfying, rewarding aggression, reflexes, and skill. Plus, the brilliant pixel art style and atmospheric soundtrack make every run feel like a cinematic death dance. The level design is also something to praise. While the castle shifts around each run, you still get a sense of progression, moving from gloomy dungeons to lavish towers, each with its own hazards and secrets. And once you unlock rune abilities, you'll be able to access new areas, giving it that Metroidvania-style backtracking. Finally, the mutations and power-ups make every run wildly different. Do you build a bleed-based sword build, a traps and turrets loadout, or maybe just spam brutal ranged attacks? No matter your choice, Dead Cells makes every decision exciting and meaningful. If you haven't played Dead Cells yet, what are you even doing? Who knew that combining card games with roguelikes would result in one of the most addictive games ever? Slay the Spire turns every run into a strategic battle of wits, where your deck is your lifeline. You pick one of 4 unique characters, each with a completely different playstyle, and build your deck on the fly as you ascend a deadly, ever-changing Spire. But here's the kicker. Every single decision matters. Do you go for high-risk, high-reward cards? Do you build a poison-heavy deck or rely on raw damage? The choices are endless, and no 2 runs feel the same. Unlike traditional deck builders where you collect cards over a campaign, Slay the Spire forces you to improvise every single time. You start with a weak, basic deck, and as you progress, you choose cards, relics, and upgrades that shape your strategy. The key is synergy, finding the right balance between attack, defense, and special effects. But beware, if you pick the wrong cards or don't plan ahead, you'll be crushed before you even reach the first boss. And just when you think you've mastered it, bam! The game throws a new challenge your way, like cursed relics, crazy enemies, and unpredictable events. Some relics are game changers, granting overpowered abilities, but at a cost. Maybe you get double energy per turn but lose health every time you play a skill. Every choice feels impactful, and that's what makes Slay the Spire so rewarding. It's infuriatingly difficult, yet so satisfying when a deck comes together perfectly. If you love brain-melting strategy, this one's a must-play. The Binding of Isaac. Rebirth isn't just one of the best roguelikes ever made, it's a game that changed the entire genre. If you love insane item synergies, grotesque humor, and endless replayability, this one's for you. Inspired by old-school Zelda dungeons, Isaac throws you into randomly generated floors filled with horrifying enemies, secret rooms, and ridiculous power-ups. You play as Isaac, a young boy whose fanatically religious mother is trying to sacrifice him to God. Yeah, this game is dark. To escape, he dives into the monster-infested basement where things only get worse. Combat is simple. You shoot tears at enemies, because crying is apparently a valid weapon. But the real magic? The items. There are hundreds of them, and they combine in the weirdest, most broken ways possible. You can turn Isaac into a laser-firing demon, a giant floating head, or a flesh-covered abomination with infinite damage. The possibilities are endless, and every run feels wildly different. And let's talk about the secrets. Isaac is packed with hidden bosses, secret characters, and entire alternate endings that can take hundreds of hours to uncover. With its dark humor, tight gameplay, and infinite replayability, The Binding of Isaac. Rebirth is a legendary roguelike that every gamer needs to experience at least once. Just be prepared for some seriously disturbing imagery. If you've ever thought, I wish my roguelikes had more bullets, like a lot more bullets, then Enter the Gungeon is the game for you. This is a twin-stick, bullet hell roguelike that takes the chaos of old-school arcade shooters and mixes it with insanely creative weaponry, hilarious lore, and tight-as-hell gameplay. The premise? You control one of 4 quirky Gungeoneers, each with their own special abilities, diving into the ever-changing Gungeon to find a legendary gun that can erase the past. But good luck getting there, because every floor is packed with gun-wielding enemies, bosses that fill the entire screen, and environments designed to make you suffer. What makes Enter the Gungeon so addictive is its gunplay. It's fast, frantic, and unpredictable. The game throws weapons at you like an overexcited kid in a toy store. There are guns that shoot bees, rainbow lasers, sharks, even literal lowercase letters. It's absolute madness and keeps every run feeling fresh and fun. Dodging is your best friend here. The dodge roll is everything. If you don't master the timing, positioning, and weaving between an ocean of bullets, you'll be seeing game over a lot. But that's part of the thrill. Every room is a puzzle of movement and destruction. And let's not forget the humor. The game is packed with over-the-top references to gaming culture, ridiculous item descriptions, and NPCs with hilariously tragic backstories. Even the enemies, walking shotgun shells, ghostly revolvers, and gun-wielding knights, add to the charm. Each run in Enter the Gungeon feels equal parts skill test and sheer luck, with hundreds of weapons and synergies to discover. It's challenging, rewarding, and completely bonkers in the best way possible. If you love roguelikes, bullet hells, or just games that embrace their own insanity, this is a must-play. Some roguelikes make you feel like an underdog. Risk of Rain 2? It makes you feel like a god, until the game flips the difficulty dial to Nightmare and laughs at your suffering. This is a third-person, co-op roguelike shooter, where you and up to 3 friends battle through hostile alien planets, growing stronger with every item collected. The longer you survive, the harder the game gets, meaning there's an endless power curve that turns you from a weakling with a pea shooter to a screen-clearing god-tier powerhouse, and then back to an ant when the difficulty curve completely overtakes you. The game is insanely replayable thanks to its randomized loot system. Every run, you'll find dozens of items that stack in crazy ways. Triple jumps, chain lightning, homing missiles, and even stacking 100 bear charms to make you unkillable. But the beauty is in the synergies. Some combos break the game in the best way possible. The character selection also keeps things fresh. You start as the Commando, a solid all-rounder, but soon unlock wildly different characters like the Huntress, fast-moving bow expert, the Engineer, who spams turrets like a madman, or even the Loader, a melee brute with a grappling hook that turns you into Spider-Man on steroids. The fast-paced, open-world combat combined with ridiculously over-the-top item stacking makes Risk of Rain 2 one of the most addictive roguelikes out there. Whether you're playing solo or with friends, this is one roguelike you won't be able to put down. What if every single pixel in a game was fully simulated? What if fire spread realistically, water flowed naturally, and explosions had actual physics? Welcome to Noita, where science meets total destruction. At its core, Noita is a roguelike wizard simulator, but calling it that is an understatement. You play as a tiny mage, descending into procedurally generated caverns, fighting enemies, and crafting insane spell combinations. But here's the catch. Everything in the world reacts to everything else. You set a bush on fire? That fire will spread and burn down the entire level. A poison cloud? Throw a lightning spell at it, and boom! It turns into an instant death trap. Want to flood an area? Dig through the ground, let water flow, and watch as enemies drown. The level of interactivity and chaos in Noita is unmatched, but the real magic, pun intended, is in the spellcrafting system. Instead of just finding better weapons, you customize your own spells by combining different effects, modifiers, and triggers. You can create homing fireballs, teleporting acid bombs, or even infinite loop chain reactions that turn the entire map into an unplayable mess of destruction. But don't get too comfortable, because Noita is brutal. One mistake, you're dead. One stray explosive spell, you're buried under rubble. One miscalculated teleport, you're inside a pool of lava. It's unforgiving, unpredictable, and absolutely glorious. If you love experimentation, destruction, and the most intricate physics-based gameplay ever seen in a roguelike, Noita is a must-play. If If you combined the fast-paced gunplay of Doom, the atmospheric storytelling of H.R. Geiger-inspired sci-fi, and the brutal loop of a roguelike, you'd get Returnal, a game that takes everything you think you know about roguelikes and cranks it up to cinematic blockbuster levels. You play as Celine, a space explorer who crash lands on a mysterious alien planet. But there's one problem. She's stuck in a time loop. Every time she dies, she wakes up right back at the crash site, forced to relive her nightmare over and over again. But this isn't just a simple die and try again kind of roguelike. Returnal is fast, intense, and absolutely unforgiving. Bullet hell combat meets third-person shooting, meaning you'll be dashing, dodging, and unloading rounds while entire rooms explode into neon death traps. The enemies? They don't just want you dead, they want to erase your existence. And the mystery? Oh, it runs deep. As you explore, you stumble across messages from your past self, uncovering a twisted, psychological horror story that will keep you guessing until the very end. The best part? Returnal feels incredible to play. The adaptive trigger mechanics of the PS5's DualSense controller make every shot, dodge, and explosion feel next-level immersive. If you love high-intensity roguelikes with AAA polish, Returnal is a must-play experience. Just be warned, it will break you. Darkest Dungeon doesn't just test your combat skills, it tests your sanity. This game throws you into the darkest, most twisted dungeons imaginable, where your heroes don't just have to survive the monsters, but also their own psychological trauma. The premise? You inherit a cursed estate, and it's up to you to assemble a team of misfit adventurers to cleanse it. Sounds simple, right? Wrong! Your heroes aren't fearless warriors, they're flawed, broken, and absolutely terrified. As they venture into hellish dungeons, they develop stress, paranoia, phobias, and even diseases. A knight who starts off as a noble warrior, after a few expeditions, he's a nervous wreck who refuses to fight. A rogue who was once deadly, now she's afraid of the dark and panics at the sight of spiders. The turn-based combat is deep, strategic, and brutally punishing. Every decision matters. One wrong move, your entire party is dead. There's permanent death, so if your best fighter gets taken out, they're gone forever. And let's talk about the art style. Dark, gothic, and dripping with Lovecraftian horror. Every detail from the creepy narration to the gritty hand-drawn visuals makes Darkest Dungeon feel like a nightmare come to life. This is a game where victory never feels guaranteed. Even when you win, you feel like you've lost a piece of your soul. And somehow that makes it one of the most compelling roguelikes ever made. Imagine stepping into a retro-style bullet hell, where instead of dodging waves of enemies, you become the bullet hell. That's Vampire Survivors, a game that starts slow but quickly turns into absolute chaos. The concept is simple. You auto-attack while hordes of monsters swarm you, and your job is to survive as long as possible. Sounds easy, right? Until thousands of enemies flood the screen. The magic of Vampire Survivors is in its power curve. You start off weak, struggling to survive the first few minutes. But with each level up, you unlock new weapons, upgrades, and passive boosts that stack in insane ways. By the 20-minute mark, you're a godlike monster-destroying machine, wiping out enemies before they even touch you. The thrill of the game is seeing just how broken your build can get. Can you combine the Bible with lightning bolts? Can you summon infinite fireballs while slowing time? Yes, you can. And for a game that looks so simple, it's ridiculously addictive. Runs are quick, but you'll keep saying, just one more game, until 5 hours have passed. If you love mindless fun mixed with deep strategy, Vampire Survivors is an absolute must-play. There's no debate. Hades isn't just a great roguelike, it's one of the best games ever made, period. Supergiant Games took everything we love about roguelikes, tight combat, meaningful progression, endless replayability, and combined it with one of the best stories and characters in gaming history. You play as Zagreus, the rebellious son of Hades, trying to escape the underworld. But your dad? He's not having it. And neither are the gods, demons, and monsters standing in your way. Combat is fast, fluid, and ridiculously satisfying. You get 6 unique weapons, each with multiple playstyles, and boons from the gods that completely change how you fight. Maybe you stack lightning attacks from Zeus, or maybe you go full melee berserker with Ares' damage over time abilities. But here's what makes Hades truly special. The story continues, even when you fail. Every time you die, you wake up back home, where the gods react to your progress, giving you new dialogue, interactions, and even romances. The art? Stunning. The music, epic. The voice acting, perfection. Hades isn't just a roguelike, it's a masterpiece. If you play only one roguelike from this list, make it Hades. And there you have it, 10 incredible roguelikes that will keep you playing for hours on end. Whether you love brutal difficulty, tight combat, or mind-blowing progression, there's a roguelike on this list for you. Which one is your favorite? Did I miss any must-plays? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's talk. And hey, if you love gaming lists like this, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an upload. I'm Buds, and this was Good Game Explorer. Until next time, happy gaming.